The median home price in Phoenix metro area right now is $454,000. I think about 5 years ago, it was in like the twos. And we are up to $454,000. But is that everywhere? Is that in Phoenix? Is that in Gilbert, Chandler, Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, Queen Creek, Cave Creek? We are going to cover that today because it is hyper focused. Real estate is it's so hyper focused in every area. So can say that the 17 largest major cities in Phoenix, Arizona, the median home price is 454,000 really doesn't give you the true story if you want to live in Gilbert or Buckeye. So we're going to dive in that today. My name is Nicole Black, your Arizona Realtor, and let's go over these metro major cities in Phoenix and see where they fall on the scale of median home prices. Okay, to kick it off right here, let's see. The monthly median sale price is it's $453,995. So yes, I rounded up a little for 454,000. As you can see, we hit our peak here in Arizona in May of 2022. And what happened around that time? Fed started to raise interest rates. All right, so Fed starts raising interest rates and our median price falls down. But over time in 2024, with the rate staying still high, barely coming down from their peak, our home prices are still going up. And I always get the question, why? Isn't the whole purpose of raising the interest rates to bring prices down or at least stabilize them from keeping on rising and going up? I hear you. But as we have talked multiple times, I'm pretty sure that you have heard on the news, we have the thing called the lock-in effect, where right now we should be having way more inventory hit our scene, active listings, than we have right now because so many sellers don't want to lose their 2.75% interest rate that they've got. They know they're probably never going to see it again in their lifetime. Not that it won't happen again, but potentially not in their lifetime. So they don't want to give that up. So these houses are not naturally flowing onto the market. Even people that want to, quote, downsize, so that silver tsunami effect, they're kind of even holding back on selling because they're like, okay, so at 2.75, I bought this 10 years ago. Let's say a house for $500,000, Scottsdale. 10 years ago, that $500,000 home, which they have a 2.75% interest rate on that they've been paying already off for 10 years, that house could be worth easily $1 million right now, maybe even more depending on what they did with it and where they're at. So to downsize, to have the house they have, which is maybe 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, to go to a 3 bedroom or 2 bedroom and a den, and a 2 bath could still be $1 million at 7%. So a lot of them are holding back going, it's not making sense to downsize at this time. And maybe, they've got kids and there's grandkids on the way. It's like, well, maybe the bigger house in the long term still might serve us. So there's a lot of those conversations going on. So we're not getting that huge wave of inventory as we thought from the silver tsunami. It's more like a silver Waikiki wave of houses hitting the market. Who knows what that's going to look like in the future, just of right now. And also we've got the lock-in effect where people are just not putting their houses in the market. And then we also don't have the demand that we used to have either. But we have enough demand for the supply that's out there to keep the prices going up. Now they're not going up like they were in 2020, 2021, 2022, but they're still going up because, again, even though interest rates have gone up, the supply is still low and we have enough demand to support that supply to keep the prices up at this time. So let's go into, well, if you want to move to Arizona and you're like, okay, I know I've heard Scottsdale is pretty expensive relative to the other parts of Arizona. Correct. But let's look at how much more. And then let's look at what is Buckeye versus Gilbert versus Cave Creek, because these are areas you could explore first based off of affordability. Okay, so the first market we're going to take a look at in city is Chandler, Arizona. If you don't know where that is, let me bring up a map. Okay, you can see Chandler is in the Southeast Valley. Go back to our Cromford Market Index. Right now, it's at 209, which is definitely a seller's market. So we talked about the Cromford Market Index. If you're not from Arizona, you're probably not going to know what this is because it's specific only to Arizona. We've been using it for over 20 years. It gathers supply, demand, and many other factors to come up with an index to indicate whether we are in a seller's, a neutral, or buyer's market. Typically between 90 and 110 is that neutral range. Anything over 110, we're saying, yep, that's definitely sellers. Below 90 is buyers. Obviously, Chandler being at 209, yeah, That is definitely a seller's market still, but this red arrow indicates that there's been a change to favor the buyers. But at 209, how much? All right, well, let's take a look at what the median price is there. Okay, and the median sale price in Chandler, Arizona right now is $520,000. I bring this up because we see Chandler as the number one seller's market in Arizona. Does that mean it's the most expensive place to live? We're going to find out. So right now, Chandler, Arizona in the Southeast Valley, 520,000, great community. It's been building up so much over the years. They have a really cute downtown area, lots of schools, lots of playgrounds, parks. Lots of restaurants and some shopping. Some parts of Chandler are definitely easy access to the 101 freeway. So that's easy to get to if you work in Phoenix or Scottsdale or anywhere else in the valley. But man, Chandler's got a lot of business down there too, a lot of tech business. Intel's down there, I believe Honeywell's down there. So they've got a lot of actually, I know a lot of doctors, medical field down there, and also tech industry. Okay, next on our list is Fountain Hills. It's at 180, so we're showing a seller's market, and it's green arrow, which means this weekly change is in favor of the sellers. So they moved up 20% in their Cromford Market Index. You can see why. Wow, my goodness. They went up from an average median sale price of $675,000 to $938,750. I gotta take a look at those. Like, let's not read too much into that because that's such an abnormality of a change. That it's so aggressive that I would think that there wasn't many sales in Fountain Hills this past week where there was something skewing it. There was a specific sale, probably that $3.4 million one, that really skewed this. So let's go back over here because this makes more sense. I would say more around the 7 to 800,000 range is their median. But Fountain Hills, if you guys don't know where that is, it's absolutely beautiful. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. If you go on the 101 and off Shea, I'll show you on the map here, it is all the way down Shea towards the mountains. And there are so many canyons and mountain views and peaks here. Just spectacular. If you are a view person and you love peace, nature, and a view, Fountain Hills is definitely an area to check out because it is jaw-dropping spectacular. Oh, and also amazing golf courses out here that have great views. And also the town does have their own, of course, restaurant area. Of course, they have the huge fountain, hence Fountain Hills. But it's a really cool area to check out if that's your vibe and that's what you're looking for and if this is your price point. Okay, I promise we're not going to go through all 17, but we're going to go through a couple of these, probably half of them, to give you an idea. And if I miss something, you're like, oh my gosh, what's theirs? Just let me know. I can get you any of that information. Just message me, DM, call, text, whatever your preferred communication is. And here next we have, though, I do want to talk about Gilbert, Arizona, because it is definitely a booming place. It's right next to Chandler. It's at 164. What is that? That is a seller's market, but they had huge change showing that it's going now more towards the buyer's favor than sellers. But what does that mean in terms of median price? Okay, Gilbert is at 571,000, almost 572. So very close to Chandler. Chandler was at 520,000. So their median home price is a little bit, about 50,000 more. About 50,000 more than Chandler. So a little bit more expensive, you would say, relative to Chandler based on these median sale prices of homes in Gilbert, Arizona. And they're staying pretty consistent there, but yet creeping up. But they are in the number 3 spot for a seller's market at this time. Again, lots of good business and restaurants and shopping in Gilbert. They actually have an area, we call it, or some people call it mini Scottsdale. They have a downtown area and they call it that because a lot of the restaurants and bars on this street and road that they have in downtown Gilbert all are in Scottsdale too. So a lot of them down there. Have to say one of my favorites is Joyride. It's a cute, amazing bar and restaurant. It's a taco place. We've got Pomo there, which you guys know is my favorite pizza place. Has like a Neapolitan style pizza. Really good. So just awesome area to go around. All right, let's pop over to the west side of the valley, and that's Glendale, Arizona. You guys might have heard of Glendale if you're not from Arizona, because that is where the Cardinal Stadium is. So if you're ever watching the NFL and there's a game in Arizona, they talk about Glendale, Arizona. That is at 151. So again, this is typically a seller's type market, but you can see a big swing this week where for the buyers with a drop of 10% in that CMI, and you can see that red arrow. But what again does that average median, not average, medium home sales price look like? You know how I feel about averages. I'm not a fan of being average or looking at them. Okay, and being that Glendale is in a seller's market, yet somewhat swung into a little bit more favorable towards the buyers, but still a seller's market, they're at $420,000 for their median sales price. So kind of think about this. So Gilbert and Chandler, Southeast Valley was more in the $500,000 to $600,000 range. Fountain Hills, which is mid it's still east side, but it's about mid east side and out a little bit further. The furthest east that you're probably going to go other than Globe in Arizona. That's different topic over there. But there's Fountain Hills. And then now you go to the west side and you got Glendale at $420,000. So this just start kind of giving you an idea of the affordability of you're looking for a home in Arizona, what areas maybe you want to kind of contour or look for. Okay, now we're going to jump to Scottsdale, Arizona, which is at 129. That again swung towards a little bit towards the favor of the buyers, not by much, only by 2% this past week. It's still slightly a seller's market. Most people, when you talk about Arizona, they're like, they know Scottsdale. It's almost like when we talk about Arizona, Scottsdale or Sedona a lot too. But let's take a look at what their median price is. So in Scottsdale, Arizona, the median sale price is $835,000. Just last week, it was at $882,000. So we're in the 800s. So if you're looking to buy a house in Scottsdale, you got a good shot at finding one for around $800,000. We do have some in some areas. If you go to like 85254, where you can sometimes get in the 6-7 range, sometimes even also off of Frank Lloyd Wright. If you've got questions about that, you just let me know. So even though it's not at the top of the charts for the CMI for being a major seller's market, the median price is $835,000. Oh, and I just have to, for funsies, always got to go to Paradise Valley because these numbers just blow me away. So Paradise Valley is at 126 for their CMI. They swung in favor of the sellers actually this past week. But you've got to take a look at their median sale price. Okay, so Paradise Valley, if you didn't know, now you know. It is the highest price per square foot, highest median sales price homes we have in Arizona. So you can see right now this past week, they had a almost $4 million median sales price. Median. You can see there that the range swung from 289,000, which that 289,000 is either, I can't even say that's land, it's probably like a studio condo or something. But a $15 million sale, hence swinging it a bit. But let's look at even the low. It was 2.4 million. So yes, Paradise Valley, if you don't know where it is right at the base and coming off east of Camelback Mountain. You've got Mummy Mountain right there. You've got, you look at Paradise, actually from there it's coming off and it's going about east north that way. So I'll show you on the map so you get a better visual. But it's a beautiful area. You're right by Old Town Scottsdale. You're close to the Biltmore area. You're close to Arcadia Light. You're close to downtown Phoenix to get to the airport. You can go to North. It's just really centrally located, beautiful, and obviously they have some very, very beautiful properties there as well. An area that, to me, I feel like in Arizona has really taken off and started getting attention more than normal, especially for luxury market properties, is actually Peoria. Yes, Peoria, Arizona is on the west side. It's on the northwest side. A lot of people started to go out that way for luxury-like homes because they wanted land. And Peoria offered that, where Scottsdale and Paradise Valley, they're so condensed, there's not much land to buy in the central areas, that people started going out to Peoria. And as they should. It's a beautiful area, great access to the 101 and the 303 freeways. So you still can get over to North Scottsdale and many places in the valley really quick. And it's a beautiful area too. What are they currently looking like for their median price? As you can see here, their median sale price is $515,000, and you see the range of $38,000 25 million. So Peoria has definitely got some attention. You know, a lot more stuff is going to be coming out that way. It's going to keep developing with people moving in that direction. So if you are looking to build, you want more land, and you want an area with some newer homes and options like that, Peoria is starting to go in that direction. They have been for a little bit. So it's definitely a place to check out in that area. And there's only two more I want to talk about. And if you guys want, like I said, any other ones on this list and you want the numbers, just let me know. But the next one's going to be Cave Creek. If you haven't heard of Cave Creek, that is north of Scottsdale. And it's a cool area. It is, you talk about the Wild Wild West feel. Absolutely, it's still there. And Harleys. So you're going to have a Harley next to a horse in Cave Creek. Yes, it is so pretty and neat, and I love the vibe up there. They've got a really cool, pretty row with biker bars, with pubs, with bull riding. Yes, the Buffalo Chip actually has bull riding on Friday nights there. They've got beautiful like Mexican restaurants and arts and views of just majestic mountains, and it's a really pretty cool area to see. But one thing about Cave Creek, they have fallen far. They used to be in the seller's market with the CMI. They're now in a buyer's market. But being so, you might look, go, oh, cool. Let's go to Cave Creek. That sounds great. We're probably going to get a great deal on the house because it is a seller's market. Buyer's market. I'm sorry. Take a look at this. Even though it is a buyer's market currently with the CMI in Cave Creek, their median sale price is $939,900. So even though sometimes when we're showing the CMIs and the direction of the pricing in the markets, do you see how different they are? Even though this is a buyer's market, that's almost $1 million for the median price home. And if that's your price point, could you maybe get it for $950,000? Yeah, you may have a better chance at that. But the indication of a buyer's or seller's market, it's not indicative of the price, of the median sales price in the area. So I think it's really good to deep dive into these median sale prices. So knowing your affordability level, that's number one. So that's the first thing we should look at. Then let's look at, are we in a seller's, neutral, or buyer's market? That's number two. And the last one we're going to cover is Buckeye. Because I hear a lot of people ask about Buckeye, and it definitely has some beautiful communities out there. They are in a strong seller or buyer's market. They had an uptick, though, in favor of the sellers, but still 67, as they've been down here for a while now. What does their median price look like? And their median is $406,000. So one thing I want you to kind of note, and that's probably one of the lowest in the valley. I mean, Maricopa might be lower now. Let me check real quickly. Yeah, Maricopa is at 354. But you got to know relative where all this stuff is. So if I'm looking at 354, how far of the Metro Phoenix area are we? And also there's an area called Casa Grande, and that's 320. So these areas I just showed you, we have Buckeye, which is probably a little, I don't know, the Maricopa. We're going to look on the map. So here's Buckeye, here's Maricopa, here's Casa Grande. So yes, these are the areas in the Phoenix metro area that you can get below 400,000, that you can get below 454,000, the median home sale price in this area, but they're further out, and that makes sense. And that's typically how it goes. But as ever, normally things expand, stuff comes with it. So if people go, business is going, restaurants are going, entertainment is going. So we are starting to grow out, but these areas right now have the better affordability than other places in the city. Hope you found that information super interesting and also educational and resourceful, and something that now you're like, okay, now I know if I move to Arizona and my price point and affordability, or what I want to afford, is X, Y, and Z, these are areas where I can start my search. And then I can see, is it a seller's or a buyer's market or neutral market? And then I can see, what area best offers my wants and my needs in a home? Is there hiking nearby? Do they have single family homes? Do they have 2 stories? Do they have multi-generational homes? So these are all the things to consider, but I think that starting point is, what is your number? And that's different for everybody. And yes, maybe you could afford more, but do you want to? Is it a second home? Is it a retired home? So I hope you found this useful. If you did, please like and subscribe because this is what we do. If you have any further questions or comments or any other information, or I didn't cover one of the cities you'd like to know about, let me know. Text, call, email, whatever your preferred communication is, and we will get back to you. Wherever you are in the world today, hope you're doing absolutely amazing. And never forget, we're always here for you.